Hi, today we will go through sliding window sum. So what it says is you are given an array of n integer. Your task is to calculate the sum of each window of k elements from left to right. In this problem, the input data is large. It is created using a generator. Okay. The first line contains two integers n and k, the number of elements that is n, the size of the window that is k. Okay. So the next line contains four integers x, a, b, c. The input generator parameters. The input is generated as follows. Okay. So we are given parameter based on which the input is. We have to generate an input, and we have, after generating an input of first n integers, we have to tell the sum of each window of k elements from left to right. Okay, and the constant is 10 to the power 7, xb is 10 to the power 9, and c is 10 to the power 9. So we will not have element greater than 10 to the power 9, but in the calculation we might cross 10 to the power 9, right? Because let's say x, a, b all are 10 to the power 9, so it will go like 10 to the power 18 plus 10 to the power 9. Means not exactly 10 to the power 9, but let's say 10 to the power 9 minus 1, because if we getting 10 to the power 9, right, then all x will be 0, because anything which will come would be in multiple of 10 to the power 9, right? And if you take the mod, let's see, then it will be 0. So it can reach in the calculation near around 10 to the power 18. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. Okay. So now the input in this case is given like 8, 5, that is we have to generate 8 elements, and window size is 5, and x, a, b, c, right, 3, 7, 1, 11. So our first number would be 3, right? x1 equal to x, 3 is the x. Then okay, then xi is equal to ax plus b. What is ax? Ax is 7 into 3 plus 1. So 7 into 3 plus 1 mod 11. That would be a second number. So that will calculate it like 21 plus 1, 22 mod 11 is 0. So this would be 0. Then last a of xi minus 1, right? Then that is 7 into 0 is 0. 1 mod c is 1. Right? Like that we will have the number, and that input array is this one. Input array is this, right? The windows are, then what is the window? Window we have to take 5 elements, right? Now how we will code it, that is the thing, right? Let's say you create all windows and then you calculate, would be like brute force approach. Okay, that should be the first thing that at least should come into mind, right? That how you can code it at the very first instance, right? So what you have to do is, okay, you will create all the elements. That would be step 1. You will create all the windows in that one by one, and then you will just calculate their sums, right? So that is a brute force approach. Now we will see it using sliding window, right? Now why I am saying sliding window is, okay, each instance we are sliding the window. That's how it is named. So this is a window first, right? What would be the second window is this one, right? We are leaving the first element and we are removing one element and we are increasing one element, right? So it feels like it is sliding from left to right, right? Because the window size itself is still same, like in our normal windows, right? It will just slide. So how this window is sliding is, we are removing one element and we are adding one element, right? So how its sum will be affected is, let's say this is x, this is y, right? So this is still y and this is z. So earlier sum was x plus y, right, of this thing. Now sum is y plus z. So how to arrive from x plus y to y plus z is, whatever is this sum, we have to remove x from it right? And we have to add z. Okay, so x will get removed and we'll get y plus z from that equation, right? So at each instance what we will do is we'll just keep this elements with us and we'll just keep on adding the new element, and we'll just keep on removing the last the element, right, of the previous window, the first element of the previous window. More easy to see. So now we will go to the code part. So now we are seeing the code. So we have defined the variables that is required, right, n, k, x, a, b, c, and we have defined a window. What this window is? This window is preserving the elements that is already generated, only the last window. Why? Because that last window would be, we'll keep on removing the elements, right, and we'll only need the last k, because before that would have already been used by the previous windows, right, to means already would have been deleted, right? So we'll just preserve the last k elements, right? So how we are moving is, we are adding our x, right, then we are pushing it to our queue, then we are calculating the next x, and if window size any times become k, right, then we have to take that answer, right? And since we have been asked to print the XOR of all the windows sum, okay, here in the output, right? So we are taking the XOR here of the elements in line 19th, 18th, and then we are removing the first element from the previous window, right, because we only want the k window size. So since we are adding one element to that window, we are removing one element from that window, okay, right? So then we are popping it from the window, right, and we are then printing the XOR of that sum at the end. That's what we means we are tasked to calculate, right? Now we'll just run this program. So if I'll go and execute, okay, so our input was 8 elements we are going to generate. Means that input has to be generated. 5 was the window size, and the x was 3, a was 7, b was 1, and c was 11. If we execute this in C++, then we will get it like 12, right? That is the required